Have you ever wanted something so badly it seemed to sparkle in your eyes, only to find it always just a little too far away? And instead of admitting you couldn't reach it, you told yourself it wasn't worth it anyway? Well, let me tell you about a clever fox who once did exactly that, but learned a truth much deeper than he expected. At the sunlit edge of a quiet forest, where the grass rippled like green silk in the breeze, lived a fox named Felix. His fur glowed a fiery orange, his tail swished like a painter's brush dipped in gold, and his eyes always glittered with mischief. Felix was quick, clever, and proud. He loved the feeling of outsmarting anyone who crossed his path. One warm afternoon, the air heavy with the sweet scent of pine and earth, Felix's stomach growled so loudly it startled a pair of sparrows from a nearby branch. He hadn't eaten since morning, and even a dry old acorn was beginning to sound like a royal feast. Then, as if the forest had heard his hunger, a breeze drifted past carrying a scent so rich, so sweet, it wrapped around Felix like a ribbon. He followed it, nose twitching, tail flicking with anticipation. The smell led him to a small clearing where an old wooden trellis leaned gently in the sun, and curling over it like nature's own jewelry, hung the most beautiful grapes Felix had ever seen. They were deep purple, no, deeper than purple, the color of twilight after rain. Tiny beads of dew clung to their skins, making them glisten as if they had been polished by the morning stars. They looked like they would burst with sweetness at the first bite. Felix's mouth watered. "Now that," he murmured to himself, "is exactly what I need." He leapt and missed. Undeterred, Felix backed up, raced forward, and jumped again. Higher this time. His claws scraped the wood, his tail flicked in determination, but the grapes swayed just out of reach. He circled the trellis, searching for a way up. He tried stacking small rocks into a wobbly tower, balancing on fallen logs, even climbing a nearby sapling to leap from above. Nothing worked. The grapes seemed to mock him, swinging ever so slightly in the warm breeze. Finally, Felix flopped onto the grass, panting, his chest rising and falling in frustration. The sun began to dip lower, painting the forest in soft gold and amber. Then he stood up, brushed the dust from his fur, and raised his chin. "Bah!" he said loudly, to no one in particular. "Those grapes are probably sour anyway, not worth my time." With a flick of his tail, he turned and sauntered away, as if he hadn't cared at all. But as he padded back through the trees, a small ache tugged at him, not just in his belly, but in his heart. It was the kind of ache you feel when you know you've let your pride speak louder than your truth. That night, as the moon rose like a silver coin over the treetops, Felix curled up in his den. The forest hummed its nighttime lullaby, the wind sighing softly through the leaves. His stomach still grumbled, but what kept him awake wasn't hunger. It was the quiet, unshakable thought that maybe, just maybe, those grapes hadn't been sour at all. He looked out toward the starlit sky and whispered, "Maybe I just couldn't reach them." And that was okay, because sometimes we tell ourselves stories to make disappointment easier to bear. But when we can be honest with ourselves, even in the quiet of our own hearts, we grow stronger, softer, and a little more wise. Just like Felix did. Like, comment, and subscribe for more magical tales. And don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss a story that touches your heart.